What is going on, my dudes? Tystra here, back again with another Genshin Impact video. If you guys like the content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And as always, tell me in the comments what you guys think about this video and its subject. And of course, today we're going to be talking about the lovely Miss Shenhe, or Shenhe as I call her. I know that it's a mispronunciation. I know, sorry. Fight. But yeah, Shenhe here is a fantastic character, and she's going to be part of version 2.4. And just like we did with Itogoro, I'd like to talk about her as a pre-release guide for you guys to figure out what you're going to do to farm her before she releases. Now, at the recording of this video, we got about a week, I think about maybe like 5 days left until she arrives. I know that with her and Yunjin coming out at the same time, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So, for this little exercise, we're going to be talking about these books first. And the books, usually, if I pull this up, hold on. Let me go and pull this up real quick. The books, as you see, are going to be the prosperity books. And the only reason why I pulled it up like that, as you saw that I'm trying to find certain images, my apologies. But prosperity books are going to be your number one thing that you want to make sure to get with her, because the talents are going to be great. And then, of course, you got these nectars that you need. I believe these are from whopper flowers, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a little bit, guys. Okay, don't make fun of me. But yeah, you're gonna need some whopper flowers for those. She uses Qingxin, which is the same thing as Ganyu, which is terrible because at the same time, her banner comes out with Zhao, and Zhao uses Jingxun or Xingxin, and you're gonna have a hard time keeping up with those because that's 168 times 3, especially with Shenhe, Zhao, and Ganyu. But for this, we're only going to talk about her, so you're going to need 168 of those bad boys right there. And they're a little hard to find in Liyue. Trust me, you're going to need either Chi-Chi or, who was the other Liyue specialty finder? I thought there was somebody else. Anyways, we'll move on. But you're going to need a lot of those. Now, she obviously is Cryo, so you're going to need Shavita stuff. You're going to need these nectars, of course, and then this is the boss mat, which actually the boss was bosses were revealed in the previous stream, so you're not going to have to worry about farming those. Your best farm for the Shavita Jades is going to be the Cryo Regisvine and Mondstadt, so be ready for that, boys and girls. Now, let's go ahead and now talk about our weapons, because I feel that her weapons are going to be very limited, or not very limited. I shouldn't say it like that. It's going to be hard to find a specific one. Now, big shout out to the Genshin Impact Helper team. This is the build guide that I usually use to kind of base my judgments on. They don't have a section for Shenhe or Yunjin yet, so this is kind of me just going, okay, we could kind of see this, kind of see that type of stuff. Now, obviously, you could go with a Staff of Homa, but I don't think it's going to be Staff of Homa that's going to be your best bet. I honestly think Engulfing Lightning, outside of the new weapon that comes out for her, might be the best 5-star for her. Because Shenhe is going to build off of attack percentage and energy recharge. So let's go ahead and get into that. Attack increased by 28, 35, 42, 49, and 56%, depending on what refinement level you have of it, of energy recharge over the base of 100%. Gain a maximum bonus of 80, 90, 100, 110, and 120% attack. Gain 30, 35, 40, 45, 50% energy recharge for 12 seconds after using an elemental burst. Now, again, this is only what I think. I could be wrong. You could even probably use like a Skyward Spine here. Go for energy recharge at the same thing while also getting crit rate on top of that, which could be work. But I don't think you're going to be using your normal attacks too much. You might still, depending on Shenhe's abilities and how you want to play with them. I could definitely read off those abilities here in a second, but we'll go ahead and talk about that here in a little bit. But you can even go with the Lithic Spear because, again, she's Liyue. Makes perfect sense to use Lithic Spear. If you don't know what Lithic Spear does, for every character in your party who hails from Liyue, the character who equips this weapon gains 7, 8, 9, 10, 11% attack increase and a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% crit rate increase. This effect stacks up to 4 times. So, let's say you have 4 party members in total for Liyue, you're going to get a good chunk of that crit rate and crit damage. So, for Liyue's at a refinement 1, sorry, you're going to be getting 28% attack and then 12% crit rate on top of what you already have. Now, for most people who have summoned a lot, you're going to already have that R5. So think about it. 11 times 4, you're going to be getting 44%, and 7 times 4, you're going to be getting 28% crit rate. That's actually pretty huge, especially since you're using 4 leeways. But that's your restriction. So you have to use 4 leeway characters. You can even use the catch. The catch is pretty self-explanatory. It increases elemental burst damage by 16, 20, 24, 28, and 32%, and the elemental burst crit rate by 6, 7.5, 9, 10.5, and 12. Now, this might be her best 4-star weapon, and the only reason why I say that is because she is going to be basing a lot of her stuff off of those elemental burst skills. And we can go ahead and talk about those abilities really quick. She has the elemental skill Spring Spirit Summoning, which, by the way, these are notes that I have on the side, so bear with me, guys. Her skills have different ways of dealing cryo damage. Basically, the Icy Quill effect. When a character with the effect deal cryo damage using normal, charging, or plunging attacks, elemental skills and elemental bursts, their damage dealt will increase based on Shenhe's current attack. So that's why you want to scale her with attack. So yeah, you could technically use, the Skyward Spine. You could definitely use that. So that's definitely a contender. I still think Engulfing Lightning might be your best bet because you're going to be wanting to constantly get off your elemental burst. But yeah, I digress. There's always that. Divine Main's Deliverance, basically deals periodic cryo damage in the field. It will reduce cryo and physical resistance of enemies, so definitely good for cryo base teams. This is kind of following in the steps of how Goro was for Geo, so definitely could see that as it is. Now, let's go ahead and talk about artifacts, because artifacts is going to be one of those things that I think is going to be a little bit challenging for her, because I don't think we're getting a new domain, so she's kind of stuck with what you could get her for this. And because you're going to want to base her attack or get it up as high as possible, there's a couple ways that you could do this. You could go, if you want to go for the energy recharge, but boost up the attack, you could do a two-piece with the Emblem of Severed Fate and Shinanawa's. You could go, a 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate to get that elemental damage burst. You could go freaking 2-piece Blizzard Surge, 2-piece Glad, which is a very old combo that a lot of people use. And even if you wanted to go more elemental burst in the sense of just getting that base elemental burst thing, where is it? Where is that stupid thing? It should be right around here somewhere. Noblesse Oblige, there it is. You could go for elemental burst damage plus 20%, and you could do a 2-piece there and a 2-piece of the Blizzard Surge, which would make sense because you get the 15% cryo damage bonus. You get the 20% elemental burst damage instead of going for a 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate, where you're getting 25% of the of your energy recharge when you're mainly basing off of attack percentage. So personally, I would honestly say that from what it looks like, because she's not going to be a physical DPSer, not in this case in the slightest, we're going to go with a 2-piece cryo and a 2-piece noblesse. I think that's the best bet for her as it is. For your main stats, obviously, you're going to, obviously, your flower and your feather excluded, you're going to want attack percentage on your sands, in my opinion, cryo damage bonus as your actual goblet, and then depending on how much crit rate to crit damage you have between those, you can either go crit rate or crit damage on your circlet. And then, of course, that scales off into what your substats will be. Crit rate, crit damage being the top ones, because you're going to want to have as much crit rate and crit damage because of the fact that you're going to be unleashing bursts as much as humanly possible. Attack percentage being another one. So those are going to be your 3 tops. And then I would say your 4th stat, energy recharge, because you're going to want to keep on getting your burst back consistently. I would say you'd probably want to have an average of about 140, 150% energy recharge if you can get it. If you can get it, great. If not, no skin off your bones right there. But I think you could do a lot. You could obviously... Sorry, a little tired today. You could get off with a lot of that stuff. Now, you already got your artifacts. You already got everything ready to go. What teams is she going to be good with? Obviously, freeze comp teams are a big thing. As you can see in this little cryo section that we have here. Again, big shout out to the Genshin Impact Helpers team. There's so many notes of so many good things. Like, we'll take Ganyu, for example. I know that Ganyu's a bow user, and I know that Ganyu's not the same. But take, for example, this freeze DPS is one of her best DPS things right there, almost bow, and the freeze combos are fantastic. So you're gonna want to run Shenhe with things like, let's see if we can get a little bit of this. You're gonna want to run her with like, water hydro characters, water characters. You're gonna want to run her with hydro characters. Kokomi being fantastic right now, and don't let anybody hear that mains Kokomi, because they'll be like, Tystra, you hate Kokomi. I don't hate Kokomi. I just like to rib on her a little bit because it's a fun little joke. But Kokomi is one of the best healers. 2, a healer and an attacker at the same time. And 3, constantly doing elemental burst damage in the sense of like with her hydro stuff. It's going to help with Shenhe right there. So that's going to be one of her best combos right there. But for people who are using 4-star weapons, you wouldn't use Lithic Spear on her. So you'd probably go with the catch. I honestly think that the catch is going to be the better option anyway for over the Lithic Spear. But if you're free to play and you somehow don't have a Lithic Spear, or if you somehow don't have the catch, which is completely free, then you could go Lithic Spear or vice versa. Now, there's obviously other characters as well that work well with her when it comes to cryo damage, and that's going to be the main DPSs. Ultimately, there's Ayaka. You could do Rosaria as a cryo damage build. Same with Kaya. You could even technically use Ganyu in conjunction with her because of her elemental burst. So it makes sense that you could run those like that. You're definitely not going to need more than 2 cryo users on your team, so you could run the 2 cryo users, run a Kokomi for your healing, and also to get that elemental burst section. But then who are you going to run for your 4th? You could run, Venti. You could run Kazuha. You could run Zhongli. You could run so many different options, or you could even run Yunjin. Like, just put Yunjin on there. It's whatever. But I digress. There's many ways that you could make this character work, and I think it's going to be fun to see how it works. Overall, Shenhe, I think, is going to be a lot of fun for the Genshin community. I'm going to have a lot of fun with her, I'm pretty sure. And oh my gosh, she's thick. Whew. She's got a temper and she's thick. Can't do that to me because that's a recipe for disaster for me. But I digress. I think you guys will like her. I know for a fact I'm gonna like using her. I think she's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to test her abilities out. But we're gonna get more in depth with that once she releases and once I actually get to have my hands on her. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys agree with the stuff I said? Do you think that she could be built as like with different stuff? Like, do you think that I was completely wrong? I would definitely like to hear your input on this because your input helps me get better as a Genshin player. I'm not going to lie. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We will be back again for Yunjin's pre-release guide. And that one's going to be a little bit of a doozy for me. I'm going to have a hard time trying to figure her out, to be honest. But we'll see you in the next video. As always, guys, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. Back in the next video. And as always, please take care of yourselves out there, guys. Love y'all.